So, Hell in a Cell. I've said this 15 times now. I do not watch Raw or SmackDown. I don't watch the weekly shows. Hell, I don't even watch NXT's weekly shows because I have that damn little respect for the WWE Network. And then a bunch of people, get ready, a bunch of people will clamor to me like, well, why do you have the WWE Network if you don't watch any other programming? Well, because I can afford to shell out $10 and not feel sorry for shelling out $10. I'm in the minority when I say that I grew up a WWE fan, and I have been a WWE fan in this decade, and, well, since 2012, I would say is a nice little category, or a nice little time span of what I've had to go through from 2012 till now. I've sat here and I've watched the product go over and over and over and repeat every fucking week. I'm in the vast majority when I say that I completely gave up on WWE and just stopped watching. I love wrestling. I love the industry. I don't love WWE. I hate the WWE so much. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to be called a mark. Go right ahead. Chances are, those marks that are calling me a mark are not the ones that are doing things like I am, which are getting in the fucking ring and making a difference in the industry. They're sitting at home bitching about some dude on the internet calling their beloved organization a piece of shit or a piece of insufferable garbage, all while sitting behind a keyboard, probably with a Slurpee or a slushie, or whatever the fuck the 7-Eleven drink is, to the right of their goddamn keyboard and mouse. And to the left of them, they've got probably like a bag of Tostitos halfway open. And like they're probably typing on the keyboard with salt just dripping off of their fingers from the goddamn Tostitos. They're probably halfway through the bag by now. That's perfectly fine. They're wrestling fans. I love them no matter what. But they're gonna bitch about it no matter what. I'm in the vast minority when I say that I just completely stopped watching WWE. So many people threaten to do it. So many people go, oh, you know what? If they don't do this, that, or the other bullshit, I'm going to stop watching. Well, you're still watching now, and I gave up like a year and a half ago. I sit here on Monday and Tuesday nights doing whatever I need to do, whether it's writing out a report for my college classes, or booking a show for that company in Toronto, or even training, as simple as training for a match, or training for some physical project that I'm doing, or sitting here and writing a song, or filing papers for copyright. I'm sitting here and I do all of this crap, some things that people would go, oh yeah, that's actually fun, or that is boring as hell. And it doesn't matter whether it's fun or boring. I sit here and I do it, and I enjoy it more than watching a 3-hour episode of Raw or a 2-hour episode of SmackDown. Granted, I take pleasure in some of those little angles, but when I miss things like Sami Zayn dressing 3 black men up in drag and pretending them to be Bobby Lashley's sisters, I don't think I'm missing much in that case, when I see Braun Strowman throw a porta potty off the stage with Kevin Owens locked inside via tape, I'm not missing much sitting here and writing papers down. I'm not missing much when I sit here, typing away on my keyboard, doing this, that, and the other bullshit, while on Raw, you've got, I don't know, what do you see on Raw? Kurt Angle pretending to be exasperated? Seeing Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor for the 18 millionth time? No, I've got much better to do. I completely stopped watching. The only things that I watch revolving around WWE are their pay-per-views. And it's that way I can see how far along in their own asses that they are. And then I'll watch NXT, of course, because it's actually a fun night of wrestling. It's something that I wouldn't want to miss. Usually the weekly NXT tapings are just building up to the matches. I just want to see the matches. They give me enough, unlike a bunch of other promotions, the WWE and NXT, they tell me what the story was right then and there, and I go, okay, so that's the story. Let's watch now. Let's see how it unfolds. No promotions do that. They don't, sit behind, a keyboard, unless it's like a big show that's like, And like All In, for example, All In or sometimes Wrestle Kingdom, they'll discuss, the backstory or whatever, but even in lesser detail, so that way there's still a reason to watch. With All In, it was a case of they didn't have weekly shows. Their shows were just on their little All In Being the Elite web series, which I enjoy watching, but at the same time, they don't really need the views towards that, because that's not important to this case. Yeah, some of the stories from Being the Elite are the reason for why a bunch of matches on All In are happening, but it's not like there's a blood feud behind it, unless somebody's trying to kill Joey's. So, at the end of the day, there's that, but promotions don't tell me what happened in the rivalry Monday night, July 7th at 8:26 p.m. with 598 milliseconds going in. They don't tell me every fucking detail. They leave some to the imagination, so that way I watch the weekly shows and understand more full, in more length. Hell in a Cell was horrible. In my opinion, I did not like it. I got bored during it to the point where I just went into the kitchen and made brownies for 50 minutes. Because I felt like doing something else. Have I eaten the brownies yet? I haven't even touched them. I haven't even smelled them. I just got bored and made brownies. I got up, I was like, well, this show's not doing much for me. What can I do over here? Brownies. Sure. I got 45 minutes to kill. It's not like I'm missing anything important. And it didn't. What is there to say about Hell in a Cell? Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton was good, for what it's worth. They were able to make me cringe at the earlobe twisting. I don't like when anybody pulps somebody's earlobe or gauge. The little fall from the top of the cell is nothing new. If you watch USW, you see a bunch of people do that whenever there's a Hell in a Cell match. The Hell in a Cell usually pops up once every year and a half to 2 years in USW. But when you see it, they use every aspect of the cell. If they get outside, they're going to climb the cell. If they're inside, they're going to climb the cell wall and probably get to the roof. There was one time in which they were fighting over the ring while they were both using the top of the cell like monkey bars and were fighting each other like that fucking Ultimate X match. And it was Cannon that completely fell to the mat. Just was completely wasted. But you see that so often in USW. I get that there are a lot of people that don't watch USW, that do watch WWE, that see this as something new. But it's nothing new to me or anybody that does watch USW. We've seen it a million times before. It's awesome every single time, but then again, they do something new every single time. It was frightening to see Jeff Hardy want to kill himself. I don't understand why he's suicidal. He has a family. Jeff, stop doing this, please. But that's that. Charlotte and Becky Lynch was great. I was very, very worried halfway through the match. Because Becky Lynch wears this ring gear that has a zipper in the middle. I don't know if that zipper cuts off at some point, in which it's just like you can only pull it down until it can't be pulled down anymore. It's like it reaches like a bridge in the fabric or whatever, in which you can't pull it down anymore. But it looked like it could be pulled down all the way, like you just get out of it easily. But I fail to see the benefit that has in the middle of a match, because obviously Becky Lynch is wearing something underneath there. It's probably like it's probably a bra of sorts, a sports bra, anything like that. But if you're thinking of things logically, if you were to think of things logically, obviously you have a female there. Let's just assume she's not wearing a bra. What is stopping her opponent from taking that zipper and pulling it all the way down and just ripping that ring gear down? Right? And at that point in time, it's like tits are out, your ring gear is falling off, you're almost completely naked in public. Like, what is the benefit of wearing that ring gear? Why not just go with the regular, pant gear and top of sorts? I fail to see what the benefit is of easy access to nudity in the middle of a match. I love Becky. Becky's great. This Stone Cold persona of sorts, this I don't give a shit persona of sorts, is fucking brilliant. Beautiful. It's perfect for her. She shouldn't give a shit. But at the end of the day, it was an alright match. I like the idea at the tease of a double turn, but I would rather see Becky as a heel that doesn't give a shit, that the fans love, than a face that is going to not give a shit for the fans, you know? I'd rather her just be a heel and not care about her opponents and not care about the fans. She just cares about doing what she needs to do, getting it done, and not giving a shit about what she has to do it. You know, I'd rather her be a heel. And I'd rather have Charlotte be the sympathetic babyface. I'd rather have Becky run out, and of course the fans will cheer her because they love Becky, and everybody loves Becky. Becky is so lovable. But I'd rather see her walk or run down to the ring and attack Charlotte over and over and over again in new ways, like run down the ramp, and then the following week run through the crowd. The week after that, come out from the bottom of the ring through the apron. The week after that, come just through the canvas of the ring. Just the things to get inside of Charlotte's head. Just these things that you wouldn't necessarily see a babyface do. That would be lovely. That would be fantastic. I want to see that. I appreciate the turn of a double turn. I'm not really behind it as much as I am other directions, but you know, you get the point. Again, I don't see the point of a ring gear that can just hot shot your tits out in the middle of public. At that point in time, you're struggling to get the ring gear up, your opponent's getting a breather, probably kick you in the face, and then at that point in time, you're a naked, sweaty mess, and you might as well just be in my bed, because that's the best way to describe you at that point in time. I forgot what the third match was. I think it was a tag team match. I think it was Rollins and Ambrose and McIntyre and Ziggler. Good match, decent match. I knew what the ending was going to be, so I just got up and made brownies. I missed the next match, and I missed the match after that. Long story short, the only other notable matches from me on the card that I actually watched was Ronda and Alexa. Decent match. I've been saying this since WrestleMania. Ronda, what the fuck are you doing? If you have to constantly adjust your ring gear, like the shorts you have on your ring gear because they're riding up too much, or you have to keep pulling your top up because you feel like your tit is about to fall out, you need new ring gear at that point in time. I'm not alone in that, right? I started wrestling in jeans and a t-shirt, and eventually when I was like 10 or 11 in the middle of a match, my pants just started to like come undone, you know, because it was like I had my button jeans at the time. Like I have the jeans in which you fold the button into like a little opening and it doesn't disconnect. I used to have a button and it would keep popping off, and it would make it very hard because I would have to button up again and pull my pants back up. And so I started wearing a belt after that. You have to adjust, you know, you have to make it easier for you. You can't stop a million times over in a match to fix your attire. That's why Carmella picking a wedgie 17 times in the match is not very suitable. Love her in the ring gear and all, looks fantastic, but not necessarily the best ring gear to be wearing if you have to adjust it 18 times in a match. Same goes for Ronda. I don't know what she's doing. I don't get the point of the gear. Roddy Piper never fucking rocked a sexy little top and shorts combo, though I guarantee you he would have been able to pull it off. Anyway, I don't get the point of that. It's not like in salute to anything. Get yourself real ring gear if you're going to be a wrestler, please. And it just makes it easier for everyone. And then Alexa, obviously we can talk about her ring gear all the time. At that point in time, it's like ring gear to ass combination is Tumblr worthy. So at the end of the day, there's not much else to talk about with any of that. I've ranted enough about ring gear. Match was all right. I've got to question why you would put Ronda. As I'll give her credit, it's extremely difficult to learn the ropes, but she is a natural at it. I would not put her less than a year into her career. I would not put her in a 10-plus minute match in which there is technical wrestling from both sides. I appreciate that the WWE wanted to give it a different little aspect. Like Ronda's now a wounded warrior, so she has to fight an uphill battle rather than kill. So I appreciate that. But at the same time, I'll give Ronda as much credit as humanly possible for being able to get in the ring and make it feel natural, but it's not like I would trust her against like an Alicia Sinclair or a Taylor Hell for a 15-minute match. You know, I think play up the Wounded Warrior character a little bit more, have her fight an uphill battle. The weak point is the selling, but if she can sell well enough, she can scrape by. It's kind of just a case that I see of like this. If you're going to put Ronda in a position in which she's going to have to walk into a match and fight for 15 to 20 minutes as a Wounded Warrior, just get her ass kicked, even if she has to come back at small points in the match, like maybe a minute and a half of offense, beating down Alexa in the corner, tossing her across the ring, and then Alexa hits an Inseguri or whatever, and then beats down on Ronda a little bit more. You can do that, but don't really have it be a back and forth, almost technical matchup with a woman that is trained to kill, not trained to sell, So that's that. Ronda won. Awesome. I appreciate her being around every week. I enjoy that a lot. It's nice. It's kind of alleviating of a lot of okay, here's another individual that's just gonna walk in and do nothing. I know she said she wanted to be there every single week, but Vince McMahon, if he smells money by waiting off, he's going to try to wait off for as little as possible and still make the same amount of money. Yeah, that's just the way I see that. And then the main event was Braun and Roman. If you're going to have a no disqualification match, end in a no disqualification, kill yourself. And at the other time, if you're going to have a no disqualification match, make sure it doesn't end in a disqualification, please. Simple as that. Braun killed Roman. Drew and Dolph pulled a Ziggle tire. And Ambrose and Seth pulled a bromance and ran down and attacked Drew. And then tried to murder Dolph. And then Drew tried to murder both Rollins and Ambrose. And then McIntyre tossed Dean into the crowd. Ziggler ran away from Seth in the least logical way. They went up to the cell. Drew got up the cell. Dean got up the cell with his karate stuff. Beat the shit out of Drew and Dolph. And then Dolph tried to run away. Seth ran after him. They headbutted each other and fell through the commentary table off the cell. Drew and Dean, I assume, had a cardiac arrest and died. And then Brock came out. And then Brock said, "Big door, don't care," kicked the door in, put the door up against the ring, probably wanted some revenge against the WWE for making his ugly-ass daughter step foot in the ring and completely job. Got in the ring, killed Roman, killed Braun, killed Roman again, went, "Ah!" and left. And then that was it. Sorry, but if the match can't end when Mick Foley gets chucked off the top of the cell and then gets killed again off the top of the cell and then gets dumped into thumbtacks and then is so fucking out of his own mind that he finishes the match with a tooth poking out of his nose, I don't think you should end the match because Braun got a little red. So that's that. Match ended because it ended. I'm of the firm belief that it didn't end in a disqualification. It ended in a no contest because neither man were fit or capable of finishing the match. But at the same time, I can't really defend WWE at that point in time because isn't that the point of Hell in a Cell? I'm sorry, but I thought Hell in a Cell was, the purpose of it was to do so much damage to your opponent that they have literally nothing left. And that's the only time you can pin them. Wasn't that supposed to be the case? I mean, I would have been fine if Roman just leaned over and pinned Brock, but that's cheap. So I guess Braun has no Money in the Bank contract now. Roman is Roman, and Brock wants his sweaty face accessory back. Hell in a Cell, folks. Come on. Come the fuck on. Are you kidding me? Who books this bullshit other than Vince? Because I guarantee you, Vince couldn't have been this fucking stupid. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It was enjoyable to watch. kind of. But think of it logically, right? Think of it just the way it was put together and what the mindset was. Just imagine Vince saying aloud what the card was going to look like and how the matches were going to finish. All right, in the opening match of the show, I want... what was the opening match? Oh, the opening match of the show, I want Jeff to face Randy Orton. Okay, we obviously can't have Jeff jump off the top of the cell. That's death on live TV, and we don't need to wipe away somebody else and not put them in the Hall of Fame or make any reference to some rooster of sorts. So, let's just have him play monkey bars. And then before he falls, Randy prematurely jumps off the table and then he dies, right? Also, let's have a screwdriver get put through his ear. Obviously, people love that shit. They can't stop looking at it, right? So we need more of that. All right, next match, Becky and Charlotte. Can we just have Charlotte run down Becky's zipper and just call the match a disqualification via nudity? All right, we can't do that. PG? God damn it, fucking kids. Okay, let's just have Becky turn Charlotte inside out and pin her for a 3 count and then say, I'm the champion, and leave. All right, next show. Ziggletire and Bromance. Okay, moving on. Next match, forgot about it. Next match, forgot about it. Okay, next match, Ronda and Alexa. Let's have Ronda face Alexa Bliss in a 15 to 20 minute match, in which case they both get offense in, and Ronda has to do arm drags, and Ronda has to do overhead turnabouts. And let's have Ronda sell. We need to have Ronda sell. Okay. Then Hell in a Cell. Roman and Braun. Right? Braun's killing Roman. So let's have Roman kill Braun. What? What are you looking at me for? This is brilliant, goddammit. This is brilliant. This is how we made Roman a star. Look at all these Roman signs. They say Roman, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. What do you mean they're censored? Oh, it's Roman sucks. That's bullshit. They don't know what they want. Let's have Roman kill Braun, and let's have everybody forget about him for a moment, and let's have that tall Irish man with a great beard and that gay little blonde dude run down and try to get in the cell. Then let's have Shield come down. Let's have them kill each other. Let's obviously climb up the cell, because, that's the best we can do in a cell. We tainted it red so that way nobody would notice the blood, goddammit. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's have Dean do his Dean stuff, and let's have, Ziggler and Rollins do their high-flying flippy shit. Let's have them go through the commentary table. He's not my son, so they don't need the padding. And then let's just have Brock come down and kick the door off and kill them, and then just be done with it, right? Roman doesn't have to put his hand over Braun, so that way, it can't be a cheap win, and we don't have to turn him heel, and Braun won't pin Roman, because Braun pinning Roman, let's be honest with ourselves. Just end the match there. Nobody wins, nobody loses. Fantastic. Awesome. Great end of the show. Everybody wrap it up. 5 minutes to showtime. Come on. You've got to imagine. It's the madman. All right. That's Hell in a Cell. It's horrible. It was horrible if you think about it logically. Just imagine Vince running down the card, and think about how Vince it would be, but at the same time, how stupid it is. There's Hell in a Cell for you. Hey, Soundboy. You've been hanging your head for like the past 3 minutes. Yeah. Vince. Yep, nod your head, motherfucker. Yeah, that's Vince. Nod your head down, goddammit. Respect me. There you go. Go to sleep. Close your eyes at my sight. Bask in my holiness. Fucking moving on. Already complex in 60.